YouTube, what's up? I recently hit level 99 on my Javazon, and this is the build that I used to get there. There is nothing really groundbreaking or new here, as the Javazon has been around for ages. I really enjoyed this class as it was a blend of range skills and fast AoE clear speeds and melee. But I will go over the gear that I used in the build and the choices I made behind them. I will go through the Merc Setup, the stats and the skill points used in the build, then I will go through PA Cows, PA Chaos, and PA Baal. Timestamps and links will be in the description below. Alright, so here's the gear. We're using Thunderstrokes, so this is a perfect pair that I found for the Javelin skills and then 15 increased attack speed with 200% ED. I like the minus 15 enemy lightning res on it. We have a Griffin's Eye with minus 19 plus 12, and then I put a 15 increased attack speed jewel and a 30 lightning resist in there. I have this in there just so that I can use Titans if I want. We're using Cat's Eye instead of High Lords because we need the increased attack speed, but I really like the faster run walk, and that's what's missing from using T-Strokes. We're using a Phoenix Shield. The Redemption Aura on this is just so hard to pass up, the quality of life. You get mana back and life back from the corpses, so it's really awesome. We're using Alder's Boots. This is to run fast. I really like faster run walk on the build, so 40% faster run walk. The 50 to life is very nice, and then the 50 to fire res. Using a Raven Frost so we cannot be frozen. This is very important for a melee build. So we want that. And then the Dex is okay. Razor Tail, this is so we can get the 33% pierce along with the pierce skill so that we have over 100% chance to pierce. And then we have a 10 faster cast rate, replenish life, and then quad res ring. Using Enigma for the +2 skills, but obviously the teleport and the 45 faster run walk. And then we have 320 Java gloves. And then on swap, we have a 563 CTA and another Spirit. And this is where we teleport in the offhand. The 33 faster cast rate gets me to the 68 breakpoint. We have a 2013 Torch, a 2017 9 Annie, Lightning Sunder Charm, and then we have a skiller with max damage, then we have a skiller with 39 life, skiller with faster hit recovery, skiller with extra gold, and another skiller with extra gold. This is because you have to repair it all the time. And then we have an all res 15 to make up for some of the lack of res. And then we have a faster hit recovery lightning res, faster hit recovery lightning res, faster hit recovery lightning res, and then we have 20 life lightning res. And then all these are faster run walk on the bottom with poison, faster run walk with lightning, faster run walk with poison, lightning, faster run walk with lightning, faster run walk with cold, faster run walk with poison, and then another 2011 light res. We really need the light res to combat the Sunder Charm. Then for strength, you only need 156 to hit the strength requirement for the Monarch, but we have more. Dex enough to hold the T-Strokes, and then everything else into vitality. As you can see, my res is like really not great. Some of them are positive. Poison resistance is only 10. Fire resistance is 50. And then cold is completely shot. So we have 70 increased attack speed, 136 faster run walk, the 27 faster hit recovery. And then we're on 35 faster cast rate on the main hand. And then on offhand, we hit the 68. And we got a total of minus 34 enemy lightning resist. And then for the skill tree, 1 point into jab, maxing out Power Strike, 1 point into Poison Jab, max out Lightning Bolt, and then we max out Lightning Fury. That was the last skill that I maxed out. We max out Lightning Strike, and we max out Charge Strike. This is for bosses. So I use all three of those skills. The passive and magic skills, these are all 1 point wonders. You put 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, and then you get it to Pierce. And this is so that you can hit 100% Pierce. Or 1 point into Dodge, 1 point into Avoid, and then we have 2 points into Evade. That's where I put my extra last point in. These are all great 1 point wonders, and then nothing in the bows. And then for the Merc Setup, we're using a Cure in the Helm. This is for the Cleansing Aura. I really like that. And the faster hit recovery. And then on the body, we're using Chains of Honor so that he gets the 8% life leech along with the all res and the two skills. And then we have a low damage infinity. The reason for having a low damage infinity is sometimes you get into sticky situations where he can pop dolls and you don't want that. And then the reason for using a prayer merc. So a lot of people will use a might merc, and the might aura was like really not doing a whole lot of extra damage. It only gave you a little bit more damage. Holy Freeze aura to like kind of crowd control, slow things down. You don't really need this on that build. So I went with prayer so that my life would stay replenished. And I know I'm using redemption, so I'm getting all this life back, but really I like having my life globe topped off and never having to pot for that. But also because my poison resists are so low, whenever I get poisoned, it would just keep it full and I didn't have to worry about it. So here we are in P8 cows. So this is actually where the Javazon like kind of shines, because when the cows are clumped up and you chuck jabs, it does like the most damage when it splits off. into different lightning bolts. So this is why I like faster run walk, is just because it's a nice quality of life to move around. Small adjustments. I do use teleport, so the teleport speeds are not great, and the frames for the Amazon is notoriously horrible. So I just decided to go with the more damage and less teleport mobility, but having more faster run walk. Because I like making the adjustments to then use melee range. So I chuck jabs, and then I do lightning strike, the chain lightning that goes between them. So in large groups, you chuck a jav. So I round them up here in a large group, chuck some javs. And then close range, when there's only a few, use lightning strike. And then when there's only a single target, I'll use charge strike. So that was like my playstyle. So 3 main skills on this. So yeah, chuck some javs and then stab to kind of clean things up. So it's kind of a nice blend of sort of both. So you're like kind of mostly at range, chucking jabs, but then you get close into it and then stab. So you can see like players 8 cows is really no problem. All the redemption, your life globe and mana is never really an issue. I'm pretty sure I did not have to pot a single time. And yeah, like, low damage infinity on the Merc means nothing. Literally means nothing because he barely even has to do any damage. Obviously, the times when your mercenary does the most damage for you is versus bosses, and this build has no issue with bosses. So here we are with P8 Chaos Sanctuary. So this is me on swap. I'm on the spirit side to do my teleporting. It's not the fastest, but it gets you there. But also when you swap to spirit, you have the added 55 faster hit recovery plus all the extra res from the shield. So it's actually pretty safe when you're teleporting around on swap. So Chaos is a little less dense than the cows, I would say. So using lightning strike a lot to kind of clean things up. So the chain lightning goes in between them. So here's once I got mana drained or something, so I had to use a pot there. Guy must have had mana burn. So I didn't feel like having a really fast teleport was a priority, just because when I'm in pub games and I'm here playing, I don't like crazy teleport around. I only teleport to basically reposition and move a little bit, but a lot of the times I'm like running. So for those small moments, I didn't feel like it was a priority to use something like Arachnid's Mesh over having Razor Tail. I liked having Razor Tail. So again, that was just the choice that I made for the build that I'm using. So that's why I was using Cat's Eye, because I went with the T-Strokes for the higher damage, but then you lose the faster run walk. So then I put on Cat's Eye to make up for it. And Cat's Eye also has a lot of decks on it, so I didn't have to invest any extra points in decks. So I can actually freely swap to High Lords setup and Titans if I want. So yeah, so here's the boss. So again, yeah, your Merc would typically help out with the boss on any other build, but because it's a Javazon, you use Charge Strike, and it absolutely deletes the bosses. So yeah, P8 Diablo clone in 2 seconds, maybe. And then here is P8 Baal. So we'll start with the waves. I like to stand in this top section. It's easier for me to see and throw the jabs from this angle. And in pub games, I stand there, and once I clear, it's easy to like run in and like pick up drops. This build has actually been very good for drops because you're not constantly spamming. So like you chuck a couple of jabs and then you're able to move around. So when everybody else is spamming hammers or spamming Nova, you can like chuck a few jabs, the whole wave goes down, and then you can run in and sort of pick up drops. And then here are the Hydras. I like standing in the Hydras. You can hear all the sounds. And that's all the dodge, avoid, and evade stuff. So you actually have like over 50% chance to avoid getting hit, which is no incoming damage. So you can see there I took basically no damage. I only have 50 fire res, and I took 0 damage from the Hydras. So here's the last wave. I use Lightning Strike a lot here just because I feel like the Chain Lightning works pretty well. So finish him off with stabbing him. Pretty good. And then Baal, sometimes you need to pot versus Baal just because he will mana burn you. But yeah, you use Charge Strike. And Baal is a tanky guy. So yeah, that's it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to do so below. Thanks for watching. Up next will be Ubers with the Amazon. I'll see you in the next one.